Hey there. Yeah, I'm Rico. And, we can all use a healthy dose of skepticism, but sometimes you just sort of have to accept things because that's just the way they are. And again, if you don't accept them, that's your prerogative. But what I will tell you is that what you see here is real. And I say it here and I'll say it 1,000 other times. Stop it in mid-flight. Use a magnifying glass and you'll see the images, faces. And, you'll see eyes, mouth, and nose, but it doesn't look like this face and it doesn't look like most faces. And then sometimes you'll see multiple faces. It's bizarre. I wonder if they don't cluster together. I actually believe that they hear and that they respond. When you stop the images, the most unusual thing is seeing a tongue out. I don't quite get that, but I get the feeling that that's a response to my photographing them. And you'll see the eyes. They're looking right at me. Or rather the camera, the light that it emits. So, for whatever reason, this camera works. The iPhone doesn't work for that most of the time. It'll catch an individual orb here and there. And I've got them on the iPhone. But then you flip it. I use my iPhone and I can catch the demons. I can catch the creatures and beings. These aren't humans. And not only do I believe that it's another dimension, I believe that these may be ancient beings, ancient forms of life. I mean, who's to say how long a spirit can exist in other realms? I mean, we know that if you read the Bible, humans lived to be many hundreds of years old back then. Stories. Noah, what is it, 900 years? The point is that we take for granted, don't always take the word in the Bible. A lot of people don't even read it, so they don't, they read passages and they make their point with things. But those are full stories. They're written paragraphs, pages, and it's not just verse by verse. To read the whole thing, there's a chapter. You read it. And there's a lot of information. This is history that often is proven. It's history that science has proven. Geologists, they unearth cities that are ancient, that are from thousands of years ago. I mean, just off the coast of India, right under the water, they found an ancient city where one of their gods lived. They have found in the desert sand that is turned into glass. I forgot the name of the process, but the point is that is what happens when radiation is exposed. The sand is exposed to radiation. It becomes glass. And they have found sheets of this in the desert. There's so much more. You talk about giants. You talk about the Nephilim. And we have proof that humans with 2 rows of teeth, red hair, 8, 7, 8, 9 feet tall. They're photographs. The actual skeletons, they disappear. I think the Smithsonian basement and the basement in Rome, the vaults, hold a lot of this. Every now and then, something is discovered, and what we're left with are photographs. And of course, people want to say, oh, it's photoshopped, but like I said, read the Bible as if it was a history book. We already have used it for laws. And it's just, there's so much to it. And if you look up, there are other books on it, history. As a matter of fact, there's a university somewhere in the West, darn it. I don't know if it's Nevada, but they actually have the jaws of a giant. And when they compare it, place it with the jaw of a modern human, see how much bigger it was. You can only imagine how huge these people were. So if that's possible, something like that is possible, what's to say that the other things aren't? They've already found proof that there's been a flood. As a matter of fact, on the top of mountains, they have found seashells and fossilized sea creatures that are bottom dwellers. They find this at 14,000, 16,000 feet up. So even if you take it with a grain of salt, at least keep an open mind. Look at it. You decide for yourself. There's so much. So what's to say, going back to where I started with this, is that when I talk about how long these spirits, these things can live, how long they can last. I mean, live is in terms of existing, what they are. The earth has lived, died, and reborn itself supposedly 5 times. The Maya, the ancient Indians, this is part of their belief. And when you find a screw or what appears to be a computer chip embedded in rock that is millions of years old, you can only wonder where and how did this happen. And again, did we exist? Was there life millions of years ago? Did the planet have some catastrophe and life had to re-establish itself? You don't know all of this, but there's the possibility of so many things. So again, with spirits in different dimensions, we know that they exist. Do we have proof? I say yes and no. When you're able to photograph a mirror and capture images, when they'll stick it, now they have stuck their tongue out at me, and I tell them as a photograph, I see you, and you see the changes. If I snap consistently, consecutively, they will change a little bit at a time, the form. Again, I can't see them with my naked eye, but with the lens of a camera I can capture. Perhaps that allows the right angle so that I can see these images, and they form in the images that are in the mirror. Some of them are free forming, but there's so much there. There's so much, and I could go on for hours just photographing. I don't know, I've got easily 11,000, 12,000 photographs, but It's what it is. First, the orbs I can post on a channel so that people can see them. Now, I could probably put 1,000 more posts, these clips, but it's the same thing over and over and over. You're watching it, and I talk a little bit about it, but it's unscripted. I'm just talking about possibilities, things I think of. I trying to figure it out. I don't understand it all. What I do believe, though, is that it is dangerous, that these things can harm you. I don't take it for granted for a moment. All right, I have seen shadows, things that are so dark that without the lights you can see them in the room. This one thing in particular was easily 7 feet tall. It had a neck that was huge, shoulders that were broad. It was thick. It was so black that with the lights off, for instance, like you see the half of my face, it was so black that it was clear. So when I tell you that I've seen shadows, it's a little scary. It's a little scary because something that immense, can you imagine the power in it? And then again, how do I know what kind of power, the energy it might have? I mean, seriously, this is something that's existing in another realm. How do I know what it can do? How do I know how it thinks? How do I know what it eats? I mean, for Christ's sakes, you have so many different theories of things. They talk about energy vampires, people that will suck the energy from you. When there's a spirit and it's trying to manifest itself, it will suck the energy. The room will turn freezing cold, a kind of cold where it bites. And my technology, my iPhone, my iPad, my phone, if they're not plugged in, they will be drained. Now, normally, if I go to bed and it's 100, I wake up, it's 93%. But when one of these entities or spirits or whatever it is has been in the room, not only do I go through the cold where I wake up and I'm shivering, a biting cold, not only that, but my technology will be like at 3%, if not zero. It just absorbs all of the energy. So these are things that many people have had shows about, and they talk about them. Well, a lot of people don't pay attention to the information, but these are signs that there's something that we can't see that's there. And again, it's more than just one thing. It may not be all bad, but a lot of it is. Enough so that it concerns me. I mean, I don't know if... God, that's a little bright. I don't know if they intend on hurting me. You never know. I could just wind up dead. And that's why I say that you have to have strong faith. I don't know if that means anything. I don't know if that'll protect me, but it's carried me till now. But I'm not so out there that I'm not aware of the fact that all the prayer in the world, it won't help me if one of these things decides that it wants me. I'm not naive. I'm not the nicest person in the world. I'm far from it sometimes. So I'm not giving it away. If they want my life, they're going to have to take it. And that I mean, they're going to have to take it. There's no surrendering here. Anyhow, it's been 15 minutes, and I'm very grateful that you've taken the time to listen to me. Watch this, please, and keep an open mind. You never know what's by you. You never know what's right there in front of you. All right. Thank you very much. And happy 4th. It's just about over. That is a good thing because we're here. Bye.